A local elected official resigns amid allegations of inappropriate online behavior, but he's also the only person on the ballot for his position in November. It's our top story at 11. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Sherry Jones. Ken Fletcher, the longtime supervisor of Delta Township, was charged in Eaton County District Court today with 2 felonies.
He's accused of seeking sexual contact with a 15-year-old boy he met on a dating app.
And that boy turned out to be a detective working as a decoy for a multi-jurisdictional law enforcement team that actually searches the web for adults looking for sex with minors.
This is the same team that conducted the sting operation back in May that landed the former head of Holt High School boys basketball in court.
Fletcher was charged with 1 count of accosting a child for immoral purposes and 1 count of using a computer to commit a crime. If he is convicted, he could face up to 14 years in prison.
Fletcher is out on a $5,000 bond tonight, but Mike Nichols, one of his attorneys, is concerned that as a condition of his bond, Fletcher is not allowed to have devices that can send messages or access the internet. Nichols says that makes it a challenge to communicate with his client.
Fletcher has resigned from his post as Delta Township supervisor. However, his name will appear on the November 5th ballot.
And because he's running unopposed, he could be re-elected to the post he just resigned from. 6 News digital reporter Todd Haywood has more.
I hereby resign my position as Delta Township supervisor effective immediately. Respectfully, Kenneth R. Fletcher.
That's how voters in Delta Township learned yesterday their longtime Democratic supervisor was out. And today they learned the reason. Ken Fletcher had been charged with 2 felonies in Eaton County. He's been supervisor since 2008, and while he may no longer have the title, he is the only name on the November 5th ballot for that post. Eaton County Clerk Diana Bosworth tells 6 News by email it's too late to remove his name from the ballot. That means he could be re-elected to the position. But other Delta Township residents could actively seek the position as write-in candidates. But it's not easy.
The write-in candidate will get 5% of the vote if they work really hard, maybe 7, maybe 10 if they work really hard.
That's Mark Grebner, an Ingham County commissioner and political consultant for over 50 years in local and state politics. He made that comment back in April regarding Meridian Township clerk Deborah Guthrie, when she filed as a write-in candidate to be reelected to her own position after she was booted from the ballot. Ingham County Clerk Barb Byram created a YouTube video about write-in candidacies just a month ago. She says the majority of ballots cast for a write-in are never counted, and that's because of Michigan law. To have a write-in vote counted, the individual has to file paperwork with the clerk. The deadline this year is 4 p.m. on October 25th. Then the candidate has to get people to fill in the bubble for the candidate and write that candidate's name on the ballot.
The voter must spell the person's name in such a way that it can be recognizable as a vote for that candidate and clear to a team of precinct workers made up of 1 Democrat and 1 Republican.
On top of the hoops and hurdles, getting a person's name out for voters is a costly venture requiring significant fundraising. Bosworth, the Eaton County clerk, tells 6 News even if Fletcher does win in November, he can refuse to take the position. That vacancy would trigger a process just like the township is facing now to replace Fletcher. Will Fletcher actively campaign? His attorney Mike Nichols replied to that question by text message tonight saying, quote, "We haven't discussed it, but I'm sure it's the furthest thing from the top of his head." Here for you in Lansing, Todd Haywood, 6 News.